Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It's early morning here and the sun is shining. As usual, it's going to be really hot today. Lots to talk about. I feel like a bit of a psychic. It's almost as if my prediction skills. Whose aren't? Whose aren't? Now, the thumbnail photograph that I'm using for this particular video is apparently of Meghan and Harry at the basketball thing. Yeah, I'm not American. I know these things are big in the States and in Canada, but I think it's basketball. A photograph of them on date night as it's being billed. Now, I saw this particular photograph in the Daily Mail and I thought, that's just the Daily Mail being naughty. You know, when there's a video, they are going to want to take the worst possible still. But then I looked at Hola magazine in Spanish, and that is the photograph that they are going with. And I'll put a link in the description to the Spanish version, Hola. And you can see, and as you know, Hello magazine is, Hola is the Spanish sort of equivalent, or I think it might be the same company, but they just used a different heading, I don't know. But it's a glitz glamour magazine, and the general theory is they never really have a dig at anybody. It's a glamour magazine making celebrities look good, so I thought it was kind of interesting. Spanish can have a very cutting sense of humour. Now, of all the many stills and photographs they could have taken from that, they chose that one, and the reason it makes me laugh, and I'm not being mean, but Harry looks like, you know, in the movies when someone's been kidnapped and drugged and put in a wheelchair and they're being pushed through the airport, smuggled onto a plane. It just looks like that. It looks like we're going out on a date night. Pop him in a wheelchair and take him to the basketball. I know that sounds terrible. And there's a whole video, I'm sure you've all seen it on Twitter, on various Twitters and stuff, because I saw it on an article and they'd used a link to somebody's Twitter. I think it's one of the players. So you can watch the whole thing, and they are seen laughing and joking. To compare it to our two narcs, our two psychopaths again, our two psychopaths have a habit when things are really bad, things are going really, really badly. Graham calls it laugh and disperse. It's they're laughing and dispersing again. When things are going really, really badly for them, they'll go slap their thighs and then separate and walk in opposite directions. And then we know something really bad has happened to them. That's exactly what that little video reminds me of. And also they say, oh, the crowds were chanting for Harry and Meghan to kiss. I don't know about that. I haven't seen the full thing. Or were the crowds chanting because someone was about to take a shot? Or were they cheering because somebody had I think the Lakers won, had won. And so Harry and Meghan used that opportunity and had paid to be on the ticker board. You know, the big screen in the middle, which is what they were on. And I've got to say as well, if Meghan wants that invite to the Met Gala, what were you wearing last night? No, I'm not going to comment on that, because she's a nice looking girl, and I know a lot of you have said, has she had plastic surgery to look more like Catherine? I don't think so, and if she did, she has not succeeded. She doesn't look anything like Catherine, she looks like Meghan. I do like her hair a lot more straightened, because I'm a fan of the straightening of the hair, but I would like to see her hair shorter, actually, not so much hair. She doesn't have to be, it's like Cousin It off the Addams Family, you know, just so much hair all the way to the ground. There's nothing wrong with having lots of hair, but I just don't think it suits her, and I'd like to see her hair shorter and like she used to have it, more brown rather than jet black. And to me, her straightening, it looks like she's had that thing, what's it called? There's a straightening process you can have done. I'm obsessed with hair at the moment. Is it called keratin? And people have it put on their hair, and it actually makes the hair feel quite heavy, so it hangs straighter. My friend had it done, and it really felt lovely, but kind of strange, like there's an awful lot of coating on it. I wondered if she'd had that done. Anyway, so thank you very much. Shouldn't be showing public displays of affection, Graham.
No, bad.
I read one of the top comments in the Daily Mail, which I just thought was brilliant, and so I am using that as a title for this. Lights, camera, privacy. And pretty much all the comments. I know, okay, it's Daily Mail for those of you who don't like the Daily Mail, because I know not everybody likes them. I'm not exactly a fan myself. But the people who comment on it, the comments are often much more amusing and insightful than the actual article itself. And pretty much every comment's got the word privacy in it. Privacy, 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 privacy. I think that South Park thing is going to stick. It's going to stick, isn't it? For years, decades. They will not shake that one, because it was so clever in a cartoon to sum it up so well. Now, also, I don't know if you remember, a few videos back, I did say that some people on Meghan's team do like to twist the words of what a YouTuber has said, and how inconvenient it is to gaslight them when the recording is there and people can actually see. Well, I'm not going to show any clips of my old videos, but the last few videos have been very much, I have overemphasized. That is my imagination. It's what I believe might be happening behind the scenes. I don't think I could have overemphasized it anymore if I'd tried. I said it's not fact, it's bullshit. I actually used that word. And yet some people, right, we've got some Meghan supporters here, and they're not sugars. They're just really team Meghan and Harry, okay? And I actually like them being here because they keep me grounded. They give me, I don't agree with the things they say, but they do present the other side, which more often than not reaffirms what I'm thinking anyway. But I like to hear the other side. I don't want to live in an echo chamber. And they are 3 regulars, just so you guys don't misidentify them, because they've never been nasty, nasty, nasty that I've seen. There's Kenyon, A. Douglas, JJ, and what's the other one? I can't remember the name now. Ralph. And Ralph's naughty. He's a misery guts. He, she, could be a girl. I really don't know. And they just like to present things from Meghan's team, and that's absolutely fine. But Kenyon did say, oh, you're saying, you know, is it conceivable Meghan hasn't done anything wrong and there's no file on her at MI5 and 6? Well, yeah, of course, Kenyon. I said that. I overemphasised that. Don't try changing what I've said when people can go back and listen to the video. Because generally speaking, I probably am full of shit and shouldn't be paid attention to at all. Anything I say. I think the thing is, you know, it's for entertainment purposes. We're all just having a cup of tea and talking about things. And if Meghan and Harry don't want to be talked about, don't be in the flipping newspapers and on the telly all the flipping time. Also, Douglas, wanted to point out, A. Douglas, that the spectacle, the wedding, that us Brits should be grateful because it brought in 3 billion in tourism. Yeah, it probably did bring a lot in tourism. You make a great argument for keeping the monarchy, but I suppose your point is that nobody would have watched or turned up if Meghan, the star of Suits, hadn't been the one getting married. Never mind Prince Harry, the youngest son of Princess Diana, who's a Windsor in the most famous family in the world. It was all about Meghan. So come on, Douglas, come on. I think even Ralph would agree with me on that one. So yeah, don't when I say be wary of sugars, these guys are regular and they're here all the time. Ralph, A. Douglas, Kenyon, JJ's not a sugar at all, and there's another lady called Ralph, and Lakiva. Lakiva's really sweet. All that person says is, I love Meghan and Harry, I love Meghan and Harry. And A. Douglas did make a very good point and said, you know, why do we all want to see a divorce? Because there are kids involved, and it's upsetting for little kids. And yes, nobody wants to see a family broken up. What people don't want to see is people being in a miserable marriage. And that's what us old ladies, apparently, and I am quoting, us old ladies need to mind our business and worry about our personal lives. Okay, so get back to your kitchen, ladies. Come on, you old ladies, get back to your kitchen and your washing machine. Don't you be watching the telly. Don't you be reading the internet. Don't you be reading newspapers. And for goodness sake, don't be giving your opinion on anything. Certainly not someone who needs so much privacy. Privacy, privacy, privacy. I gotta be on the telly and the internet. I gotta break the internet. So, the purpose of the date night, in my opinion, is to say, we're still so in love. He might be going to the coronation on his own, but we're in love. We're not separated. We're not getting divorced. That's damaging our brand. That is my opinion of the reason for the date night. And do we ever see articles of Kate and William on a date night? Sophie and Edward on a date night? You know, that's surely, you go out on a date night, and do you take the press? Do you want to go to the most exposed place you possibly can? Or if you're seeking privacy, which I imagine a lot of them are, you know, if they want to just kick their heels off, relax, be themselves, be together, maybe have a few too many vinos, it's the last thing they want is to have, you know, who can relax in that kind of scenario? So I don't buy it's a date night, it's a PR exercise. And I also noticed they do this thing. I mean, I'm noticing more and more and more similarities between them and our two human beings that are a little tricky in our lives. They wave to people who aren't there. Hi, oh, hello, oh, that's so cute, someone just cheered me. Oh, yes, I am avid gardener. Yeah, I'll give you an autograph in a moment. If you could just wait a moment. All right, mate, form a line down the pontoon. Don't get carried away. Shh, no talking, I'm videoing. Be quiet, fans, be quiet. Narcs do that a lot. And I've noticed that with our narcs. You know, I've actually seen our narcs go, hi! And I've looked at the pub that they're waving at, and it's not even open. There's nobody in it. And I think, who are you waving to? They just do it to make it look like they've got friends and they're popular. I'm sorry, but they do it all the time. They do it all the time. As well as laughing and dispersing. Oh, we're having such a marvellous time. Oh, we're not losing at all. We're not angry at all. Yeah, I thought someone was genuinely coming down the pontoon. So that was all PR, and there seemed to be large spaces around them. Reminded me of Wimbledon. But this one, especially the guy that's, if you look up the article, there's a guy, I think it's their lawyer or something. That guy couldn't sit further away if he tried. And the other thing that really made me laugh is that Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian were there as well, in a completely different part of the stadium. And there's a photograph of the two of them, and it looks like Kris is saying, Kim, is that Harry and Meghan on the ticker board? Yeah. Okay. Just don't look, pretend, don't get eye contact, pretend you haven't seen them, and we'll take a back exit. Let's get out of here now. She's probably trying to get an invite to the Met Gala. Kim, hide. Have you seen what she's wearing? I know, so this one's a little bit of a bitchier one. I can't help it. Some days I do feel a little bit bitchy, but I mean, it's so predictable, so predictable. There'll be more and more stunts. They're so in love. They're so in love. I wonder if he will actually come to the coronation. I wonder if something will happen to prevent that from coming to pass. But I am finding it entertaining. It's almost like opening an advent calendar or build up to Christmas. But this is the build up to the coronation. Every morning I wake up and I think, what crazy PR stunt has she pulled now? Actually frustrates me, because in a way I'd love to sit down with her and say, look, don't do that. No. Let's do this instead. And also, Interstellar made a very, very interesting point. If Charles wrote to Meghan, the most likely thing is he sent it through diplomatic channels and a diplomatic bag, in which case it would have had to have been signed for, like Official Secrets Act. You cannot reveal the contents of this letter or even tell anybody that you've received a letter of this nature. And so Interstellar pointed out it could well have just been that the lawyers through diplomatic channels would have said, whoa, if she received any letter from King Charles, even though he was a Prince of Wales then, that would have gone through a diplomatic channel, let's check, and then their lawyers would have put a stop to the whole thing straight away. And yes, I can imagine Charles sending letters through diplomatic channels rather than the normal post, because it could get lost, couldn't it? And we all know the diplomatic bags, they're really important. I mean, literally the Lord God alone knows what's inside those things. So thank you, Interstellar. That was a really good point that I hadn't thought of. And I think I've just about covered everything. I just wanted to ask you, Graham. Oh, you got your headphones on, sorry.
Go on.
I showed you that photograph of Harry and Meghan, and without being too rude, just off the top of your head, what was your take on just looking at that picture? Because a picture says a million words, doesn't it?
Yeah. He looked like he was in the wheelchair, didn't he?
He did, unfortunately, because there's like a bar. Well, you can all see there's like a handrail, and then the way he's like slumped.
She looked like she's poking him, saying, "Wake up, Harry, wake up. We're in love, remember?"
But he wasn't. I mean, when you see the rest of the video. And I watched a film the other day called Night and Day with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise. Don't know if you guys have seen it. And it was hilarious. And he kept drugging Cameron Diaz because she just couldn't cope with the stressful situations that he was putting her in. And it sort of reminded me of that. And I only saw that film a couple of days ago. So, right. Thoughts, opinions, lay your bets, ladies and gentlemen. What stunt will it be tomorrow? Because we all know it's coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. Thank you very much for listening.